Okay, I had a thought about anxiety, and why God created it and what he uses it for. So, anxiety, I believe, was intended to get us from point A to point B. To actually, I will take that back. I feel like if anxiety was a part of your day, I feel like it's a part of your day where you wake up and you start planning your day. I feel like that's what anxiety is meant to do in our lives. I feel like without anxiety, we would stay stuck in uncomfortable positions, but not know that it's uncomfortable. Okay, wait, I take that back. I feel like anxiety was meant to be an alarm system to be like, you're too comfortable, it's time to get up and get moving. And I feel like the problem is that we feel that uncomfortable feeling, and instead of being like, why am I feeling this, and getting to the bottom of it and being like, okay, what can I do to resolve it, which would be the part where we grow, we stay in it and we're ruminating in it, and then we get in depression and all those things. And I feel like instead of like us getting into these thought loops and these bad patterns, what we need to do is come up with a different, we need to reframe our thinking. This is why the Bible talks about renewing our minds, because daily we have to figure out what God's trying to tell us, and we can't do that if we're still in an old way of thinking. So anxiety is meant to be like the spark to be like, oh my gosh, I need to get moving, I need to grow, God's calling me to do this, or this is going on. Like before our discernment kicks in to be like, whoa, I need to do X, Y, and Z. It's like this. I think that anxiety is like that thing before the discernment kicks in, and it's like something's wrong, and then your discernment's like, yeah, this is wrong, and then you go from there. Or the Holy Spirit's like, yeah, you need to do X, Y, and Z. Like you need to get going. So I feel like that's what anxiety is. Anxiety is God's way of getting us to grow. Because if we didn't feel anxiety, we would have no real reason to grow. It's kind of like the Israelites, whenever they were in the desert, they were getting fed every day. They may have complained and they did, things like that, but like really they had no reason to be like, I need to go to the promised land, because God was taking care of them. They didn't have the anxiety that God was giving them to be like, no, y'all need to go to the promised land. They were looking back at Egypt and being like, oh my God, we were there, we had this and this was going on, instead of realizing that God got them out of a bad position. The anxiety that they were feeling, they looked in the wrong direction. They looked in the past instead of looking to the future and using that anxiety to get them to where they needed to go faster. So don't be an Israelite. Use that anxiety to to use that anxiety to let God put you where you need to go, to like get you to the future you. Hope that makes sense. If it does, drop a comment below. If this helped, drop a comment below. If you have any thoughts about what I just said, drop a comment below. Or if you're just having a day and you want to be like, hey, drop a comment below.